So, hello there. Today I'm going to show you a little project I've been working on for a little bit now, right? And this project, I mean, it's not an advanced game or anything, okay? But I don't know, I was having some fun with it, so I might as well show it with you. Now, this all started out when I was just making an inventory system because I like decomposing games into mechanics. And, well, as you can see here, this is the inventory system that I had concocted. You know, it was a simple console application, and I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool to actually put this into a game? And then I thought about this a little bit more, and then I decided, hey, let's just make an interacting system, like where everything interacts with everything else, okay? Like this, where this guy can go up to this guy, do some stuff, this guy goes up to this guy, and all that, you know? Very simple stuff, okay? That's what I wanted to make, basically. An inspiration for this was Caves of Quud, which I played at a friend's house once, and I thought it was kind of cool. And also Dwarf Fortress. You know, that game's got interactions between everything. So, the mechanics I've currently got in this are essentially, I've got the player down, it's also turn-based system, there's also some procedure generation in there, and I've got a very basic AI going. And I may have over-engineered all this a bit, but you'll see that later. Okay, so here we have my implementation of a movement system. Now, I may have over-engineered this a bit, but in accordance to what I wanted to do, which is, I don't know, a Caves of Quud style system. Caves of Quud? Caves of Quud? Caves of Quud. Yeah. I decided it would be best to make the player a state machine. Now, the diagonal movement is a bit finicky at times, but it works to a certain extent, I'd say. As you can see, yeah, this is all working pretty fine. Now, why have I done this? I mean, originally I was going to do it. I was just going to do a normal movement system, right? But I need my player to actually move in a grid, and I wanted a turn timer, right? Have every turn be processed after the player actually does their turn, which in this case is just moving. So we just have some states that tell the game where the player wants to move. For example, there you want the player to move diagonally. And yeah, I mean, it works fairly well. My next steps for this are going to be to actually fill the world with something a bit more than this. Like, maybe I could just give it some actual generation code, you know? Like some Perlin noise or something like that. I don't know, we'll see what Godot has to offer. Anyways, the assets I'm using for this, because all games need assets, right? It's just some reused assets from other projects. It's a bit blurry here, but you could see that in the clips I'm going to show you, right? Pretty simple stuff. I might redo this at a later point, but for now, this all works. Alright then, we're back with this world. As you can see, we've got a little bit of procedural generation going on. Very basic at the moment because, well, there's only like one step on it, and that's just generating simplex noise. As you can see here I've got my little buddy as well. But anyways, I mean, this is pretty much what you can expect of the procedural generation in this. After this, I'm going to be working on the AI. I also need to detect which regions are actually part of the grass and which regions part of the water, just to make spawning easier, so I don't need to, you know, have to know where my player will actually be spawning in. So, we've got procedure generation down now, and with this, I needed some way to actually check for little pieces of land, because honestly, we need to be able to figure out which pieces of area that you can actually place the player down and anything else, and which ones are, well, not available. So, for example, I take these three as actual land bits, and all that as water, right? We want the system I implemented for this is probably inefficient, but hey, it essentially just goes through every single cell and just adds them onto some sort of like water list for these water tiles, and then a land list for these land tiles. You know, it doesn't separate them out into different land masses, which was probably going to be for our later stage of this project. Hey, it's a useful thing, so I can actually place down a player on any of these pieces of land. Just go through that land list, and don't need to actually check if it's water or not. And also, by this point, I realized I had to change my whole code base, because this was, if you can see here, this is my entire folder structure. So then I did a little bit of recuperating, and then I got something like this. It doesn't look as better, but hey, it works. Now, time for the actual NPCs of this, right? So, initially I decided to start off with a random walking NPC where they can go to any bit of area that they want, that they just want to go, because they're just randomly walking around. Okay then, so let me demonstrate to you this AI here, right? So as you can see, when I'm not moving, this AI is not going to be moving, right? Because the AI needs to actually have the turn processed. Whereas now, you can see the AI is moving right there, right? It's about there, and now, yeah, it's moving down. Right now, it's programmed to do a random walk, which is alright for the current purposes of it, right? It's just it's a prototype, basically. But imagine if this was given more advanced behaviors, right? So, essentially, I've got this all going well, and yeah, my little guy there is just going off on his own adventure. Anyways, after this random walking AI, I decided it'll be best for me to have a system to decide what the AI needs to do, what the NPCs want to do, right? And that's when they're idle, they decide, hey, what's my current objective right now? So, for example, let's say this is an object they can interact with, and then they will check around for any nearby objects that they can interact with. So this guy will check for this, and he'll see, oh hey, I'm nearby it, and he'll just path towards it. The pathing algorithm I use for this is very simple, but it gets the point across. If there are no objects nearby it, they'll just sort of stay in like a wandering objective state. And I want to make these objectives be a lot more advanced in the future, so maybe a decision table or something like that. I don't know. Alright then, so this took me quite a bit to do, right? But I finally actually made the AI do something. For example, if you see here, that guy's gonna actually go into this square, because these red squares, they're like objectives for them to go to. They want to go towards them, right? And that guy's going to go down there because that's close enough. But that guy there, he's just going to still be on a random path. So if we move once, we can see, oh hey, he's moved there. He's moving closer. And then if I move again, he's going to start moving. Yep, now he's there. Now this guy, he's not near any of these red little objects here. So he's just going to keep moving randomly, as you can see there. Right, and in fact, all these guys could be moving randomly because, well, they have none to go to. The simple pathfinding algorithm I'm using for this is not a pathfinding algorithm at all. They just beeline towards it, which works well without any like actual obstructions right now. But I am going to need to implement something like that if I want to have it a bit more advanced. For example, you can see these guys. Yeah, no, they're all just being random, and this I would call a proof of concept. So anyways, final notes. I probably spent about an actual week, like a full week worth of work on this, right? But I've been working on this for about a month, and I'm not gonna lie, I do tend to just procrastinate a bunch. You know, I'll write a line of code and I just and I just doom scroll for a bit. Anyways, features that I do want to include later on is stats for the actors, you know? Essentially, like having health, strength, stamina for every single one of them, you know? That's like an example. So just have a bunch of these just for each of the actors. It's like an easy interface. Actual interactions, because so far we've just got the NPCs just walking up to the objects, and the player doesn't really do anything. And I want to actually improve the generation a bit, because right now it's literally just a what did I use? I don't know, simplex noise, I think. It's just some Godot fast noise light stuff. And yeah, I'll definitely be working on this a lot more in the future because I've had fun on this project so far. Anyways, if you enjoyed what I showed you so far, then please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to my channel, because that would help me out a lot. I'll see you in the next one.